Hey, all of you out there in Eorzea, welcome to She Heals, I Tank, your weekly Final Fantasy XIV podcast. Today is Friday, October 16th, and this is episode 238 of the Shit Podcast. I'm your host, Vegan Pete, and always by my side, she's a true gift to the people in her life.
Wow. Hey guys, Avi Ale here. How you doing?
I'm good, Avi. I figured I'd up it a notch since you said egregious was not a compliment.
Egregious is not a compliment.
Thank you for that sub, Alshalon. 7 months. Really appreciate it. All right. Thank you to everyone joining us here live at twitch.tv/SheHealsITank. If you've never caught us live, I think it is a good time. If you're listening on the podcast, we do it Friday every week at 6 p.m. Pacific Daylight or Standard Time, depending on the time of the year. And we'd love it if you join us. And if you want to add to the show, just join the Discord. You're welcome to call in. Hit us up on Twitter with your thoughts. Chances are, if you have something that we haven't talked about yet, we want to hear about it. Like, it's probably something we just don't know of yet.
It sounds like you're saying we're running out of ideas. That's what that sounded like to me.
No, I'm trying to encourage audience participation.
Ah, okay. Not audience content creation. Got it.
I mean, it would be nice to have an occasional show like that, not gonna lie.
All right.
But thank you to all of our subs this week. We have Davin Felth 11, first time sub, Grimstemin and John Jitsu XIV for 3 months each, Alshalant and Nessa Leka 7 months each, Crow 623 for 11 months, almost to a year, and Cater Pants 2 months past a year. That's a total of 14 months. Thank you all so much. You guys really do make this show possible with all of your generous contributions. And thank you to everyone. If you can't sub, please just tell a friend. Let them check us out and judge us on our own accords. But now we got everyone's favorite segment.
Greenleaf Minute.
It's the Greenleaf Minute, and Avi was kind enough to type this one up.
I was. So this week's Greenleaf Minute has to do with what everyone's either avoiding, doing, annoyed with doing, loving doing, really embracing doing, the Bozjan Southern Front, the new content, the new thing everybody's doing or not doing or whatever. When you start, there's you start doing some of the quests within the Bozjan Southern Front, and there's one quest that has you gather a Forgotten Fragment, and it's very vague on that because there are various types of Forgotten Fragments, and so you'll notice that you start gathering them and you're in the event and your quest never actually like updates. So this mysterious Forgotten Fragment, you can't figure out which one it is, and it's starting to piss you off because you've been in there farming for way too long and it's not working.
This happened to me a little bit because I was in there and it wasn't dropping, and I'm like doing it on stream. I'm like, come on stream, you gotta tell me if I'm just doing something stupid and not getting this. And I started getting paranoid, like Chili's like just bringing me around to all the wrong places and stuff like that.
And I Googled it because I was kind of curious, and that's how I actually found this answer. So and I fully expect them to update this quest so that it doesn't do this to people, so they know exactly which one they're looking for. I only did it for about an hour, and then Chili was there with me and he kind of helped when we Googled and we tried some things, which I'm going to share with you guys.
They'll fix that right after they fix housing.
I mean, this is a one-line thing in a quest. I see them fixing this. So the type of Forgotten Fragment that you actually need for this quest is a Forgotten Fragment of Skill. So
I got none of that.
Right, we know. So you want to make sure that you get the skill one in order for the quest to register. And again, as we said, it can take a really long time to drop. But if you don't feel like farming for it, you can actually get it off the market board. They're currently selling for about 5,000 gil on Gilgamesh, or even better, as you know, this was totally for research purposes. Chili and I left the instance, came out, he traded me the Forgotten Fragment of Skill, and as soon as it was in my inventory, bing, quest acknowledged, done,
wow.
Go back in, and it's good.
What a cheater.
I know, hardcore. Hey, I mean, I didn't pay for it. A friend hooked me up. So it was, I mean, and honestly, once you start doing a lot of the Bozjan Southern Front, you actually get a lot of these Forgotten Fragments. Like, it's not an expensive thing, really. It's not like a hard to get thing. It's just a time thing.
Yeah, I think you need a lot of fragments for some of the rewards.
Well, it's not the rewards. It's like the abilities that you can kind of use in there and stuff.
I think if you get enough of them, though, that that unlock something.
There's an earring you can get.
I know there's crystals that unlock a mount, and I don't know which is which yet. I've had like 1 day in there. So
I have had about an hour. But yeah, if you get 1,000 of them, then you get the earring, which is the like 30% EXP boost up to level 80. It's actually like an amazing earring. It's finally that 71 to 80 EXP boost.
It's amazing if you're not like those people who've already leveled everything to 80.
Right. Well, yeah, I'm not one of those people, so that's, helpful for me.
If you already have your Amaro, this ain't for you.
So, however, I do actually have a second little Greenleaf segment I wanted to share, also kind of related to the Bozjan Southern Front, but more so related to the resistant weapons.
Because we both fucked this one up.
Yeah, a few people have as well. So, you want to go out and you're like, screw the Bozjan Southern Front. All I want is my resistance weapon. I'm going to farm these fates. Why am I farming these fates and the drops? I'm going to call them Atmas. You guys, they're basically Atmas. Why are my Atmas not dropping? They're memories. I know, but these are Atmas. If you're farming fates for drops, freaking Atmas. So what you need to do is make sure you get the quest called For Want of a Memory. See, I had accepted all of the Bozjan Southern Front quests, and I thought I had to kind of go through those before it would let me unlock that, because those were the only ones popping up on my screen. However, For Want of a Memory is when you talk to Zlatan, Zlatan. He's like right
Saturn's?
He's the Rothgar right next to Geralt. He's who you talked to before when you did the first stage of the resistance weapon. The only thing is that the notification over his head, or the little icon, which is like this quest is repeatable one with the arrows, it doesn't change. So I didn't think to talk to him
that's what messed me up, because I thought it was the previous resistance weapon.
Exactly. So it's not. There's nothing about him to let you know that he's got the second part of the quest for you. So just make sure you talk to him.
Unless Geralt told us and we were just not listening.
Maybe that's very possible. But he's right over there. You just talk to him. Make sure, like you do with the first part, that you're on the job you actually want to level the weapon for, and then you can go out and farm fates to your heart's content, or you can go into the Bozjan Southern Front and hate yourself a little bit and try to level your relic weapon that way. But yeah, so just thought that both of those things would kind of help you out.
Disco Cub says, I think the stressed soldier tells you to talk to him.
So you have to talk to a random NPC to find out who you're supposed to talk to.
Well, I think we probably talked to the stressed soldier in a quest, and then we were like, what the fuck is this nobody gonna tell us? So we actually just had to pay attention, probably.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But we're not the only ones.
It's not my forte.
I talked to at least half a dozen people that both of these issues happened to them. So I definitely wanted to share it and make sure that other people, if you listen to our show, you're also aware that this is what you do. And you're not alone, and don't feel bad unless you spent like hours farming those fates without having picked up the quest. Then you should probably feel bad. I did 2 quests, then I went and did a little bit more on the Bozjan quest line, or 2 fates. And then I went back and did a fate. I'm like, it's still not working. And so then later I Googled and did some research and figured it out. And yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think I was in there for at least an hour. And then Chili kept on talking about memories. I'm like, I don't have one fucking memory. What the fuck is up with this? He's like, well, maybe you don't have the quest. And I'm like, well, you're probably right. I'm an idiot.
So yeah, don't be like Pete.
That deserves a ding. All right. Now we'll get to Avi's favorite segment. It's the tweet of the week. It is the tweet of the week, and Avi, you will actually like this one. The tweet of the week this week comes from YouTube, and it's from Solus Lunaris, who wrote, Fan Theory, Avi is an Asian. She disappears as the Shadowbringer story concludes. The True Speaker. I actually missed you, Avi. Glad you're better. I was actually checking every week to see when you came back. You guys have the best shit.
Thank you so much, Solus. Yes, I am an Asian. That's why Pete thinks that every lore question I ask, the answer is Asian, because, that's my dirty little secret.
I feel like there was a little left out of that. They're like, I check back every week to see when you came back.
And I stopped watching.
And I don't listen if you weren't there.
Aw, Pete, no.
There were some good shows when she was gone. Some might say the best ones.
Best ones ever.
Don't know.
But thank you so much. I really, really, really appreciate that. I'm very glad to have my voice back. Pete, I think, is glad and not glad at the same time.
Yeah, 50-50. Depending on how loud she is.
Such a jerk.
How many hours she's been. Yep.
Oh, bitch. Nah. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
The hard thing is some days, so I'm still teleworking, and I have some days where I don't actually really interact with anybody, and everything I'm doing is on the computer. And then Pete comes home, and I'm like, I haven't talked to a single person all day, and he's like, I've talked all day.
I've talked for like 6 hours.
Yeah. So it's just kind of sorry.
A little behind the scenes of our real lives. What's next, Avi? News and notes from around the realm.
Why didn't you just do the show like that? You
What?
literally just like asked me. It's like me going, hey, Pete, what's next? News and notes from around the realm.
Just helping you out.
Okay.
Tell us what we can win.
What?
Yeah, more MGP.
Oh, well, there's the new event, or the repeated event, or the event that we always get, the event that I don't give two shits about.
What?
The Make It Rain event.
But there's so much stuff you can buy with MGP.
I mean, I have like 3 million MGP, maybe more, and I just don't.
Have you bought all the triple triad cards?
I don't play triple triad. I'd buy them to sell them.
Have you bought all the mounts?
I only buy the mounts I want to use.
Have you bought all the glamour?
All the glamour I want. All the hairstyles I
Have
want.
you bought
all the emotes I want.
all of the mini games to put in the house?
Yeah. I think the only mount I don't have is like the blow up cactus. It's just, I would never use that.
That's one of the best mounts.
I know you like that because you have a very over the top, ridiculous
style. I don't think so. It's pretty minimalist if you ask me.
We don't ask you.
Just a Subligar, some Thavnarian babooches.
Babooches. If your go-to color is metallic green, you're not a subtle person.
I'll take that as a compliment.
So, I should probably be reading this. So it starts.
Is that a shot at me?
No,
I don't know how to read.
No, it was me. Just like I'm really tired at a really long day, and for some reason, it's just like even my own little Greenleaf segment I wrote. I'm really tired, and I just like talked about what I knew I wrote because I just can't read right now. My
Some
eyes
of this
are
imperial stouts, like chocolatey and
I had a
coffee.
I had a Starbucks earlier. I'm as caffeined up as I need to be.
Fine, I wasn't gonna give you some anyways.
So the Make It Rain event starts early on Wednesday, October 21st at 1 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Yeah, the hurricane. Thank you so much for that
I
follow.
really need to change that sound effect.
Sounds like me, but it's not me.
I know it's not him. It makes me so uncomfortable though. Because it's every time I hear it, I think it's you saying it, and then I know it's not you, and it makes me just feel like extra uncomfortable.
I know why you don't like that thing because you can't control.
I can't control my horny level.
Oh, okay. That's fair. So the event lasts from October 21st at 1 a.m. Pacific. I know it's PDT, but I always say PST. I don't know.
They used both in this announcement.
Well, that's because time change happens very soon. So it lasts until November 20th at 6:59 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which, yay, back to the time I say properly, time zone. So yeah, I think the time change is on November 1st, Pete, or 2nd. It's like right around there. So it's coming up.
The more you kind of know.
I'm helping. I got an email from work saying, hey guys, now is also a good time to change the batteries in your smoke detector. No joke.
God, the government is stupid.
I got that. So if you aren't familiar with what the Make It Rain event is, it's when they make it a whole lot faster and a whole lot easier to earn MGP at the Golden Saucer.
Which is good if you've just started the game.
Totally.
But if you've been playing for a while, you probably have way more MGP than you know what to do with.
And during this time, there's going to be a 50% increase to all of the MGP rewards. Many of the items are discounted, including furnishings, which were awarded during previous events. And you can start this quest by talking to Nanafon in Ulda outside the main Aetherite and pick up the quest Caught Short-Handed. The quest teaser just reads, Nanafon is glancing about with a hint of frantic desperation. Like Pete. It sounds like you on like a Tuesday.
I am
hint of frantic desperation.
often.
Frantic desperation. You must be at least level 15, as usual, to do this quest, and you have to have completed the either the Gridanian, Uldan, or Limsun Envoy quests, and that's really early on. So if you're level 15, hopefully you have completed those.
It's when you're taking the airship for the very first time.
Yeah, basically like prove you can go to the other city-states without, like having a friend give you a ride. The The rewards for finishing this event is the consider emote that will have a pink question mark above your head. Okay, I like that. I'm totally down with the pink question mark. You'll also get an MGP bronze card that you'll be able to redeem for 5,000 MGP.
Which seems like shit.
That's only because you have so much.
No, like, it's the Make It Rain event. You're going to make it rain with 5,000 MGP?
Imagine it was 5,000
That's
bucks.
like one fucking gate. That's making it rain?
Ba, ba, ba.
Come on.
Oh, you want him to give 100K? I mean, it'd be cool if they gave 100K.
Hell yeah, 100K.
I think it was 50K. That'd be pretty sweet.
If someone was like, if a rapper goes to a strip club to make it rain, how much do you think they're dropping in there?
I mean, 5,000 singles is enough.
They're doing like hundreds and 20s and
But
shit.
this is for like the Gen Pop. This is
I feel like you gotta at least have.
Pete, you can't act like every single person who does this event is like some rapper who's gonna go make it
No,
rain.
I'm saying Square Enix is the rapper. They should be making it rain on us.
They're giving
We
us.
should be getting that golden shower.
They're giving 5,000 per person. So imagine that the rain is each like sleight of your hand is 5,000, 5,000, 5,000. That's pretty good.
I'm a high class stripper. I want 100K.
You're just greedy. So we did mention this before. We are not, due to dev time and the current world environment right now, we are not getting an All Saints Wake event this year. But one thing actually I was kind of happy to hear, because I was really sad we weren't going to be able to get like the event, not the event, but the instance where we kind of go and do the maze and stuff. But like kind of in conjunction with the Make It Rain event post, they said that the Continental Circus will be sending a special representative to the Golden Saucer. So you're going to seek out the Genial Geyser and accept your invitation to the Haunted Manor Masquerade, which is where you kind of go in and you can like, you know, look like the different characters in the game. I don't know if we're going to be able to play the instance where you kind of have to find the pumpkins or the different elements, which I hope so, because that's one of my favorite
Yeah, I feel
events.
like they'll just like open up that old instance.
I'm
and we'll
okay
be able
with
to
that.
do it again.
They've kind of opened that up. I think that's like 2-3 years old now, but they do something new and then they add, then we still can access that because it's so perfect. So I'm, you know what, as long as we get that, I'm like kind of okay with it.
And El Shalon in chat says, we get more than that for every fashion report every week. And
That is
for
true. That is
not
very true.
even trying. You get 10K for not even trying. With the 50% X or MGP buff, you're going to
Okay.
get 15 grand.
Oh, you're right.
Come
You
on,
guys are right.
Square Enix.
You guys are right.
We're putting more effort into this quest.
I mean, if it was 100K, everyone would be like, well, that's worth my time.
Make it rain on me, baby.
Oh my gosh. All right, Pete.
We talked about the community finder a little bit when it was announced during the live letter last week. We have a little more information on that now. They are even doing a release campaign where all free companies that use it during that time to recruit new members will be eligible to receive in-game items to share with their FC members. The campaign is going on right now and it's going to last until October 27th. You simply need to create a public recruitment post on the community finder.
I do want to point out that it has to be the FC leader, because I'm an FC officer and we were looking into this, but the prizes, the rewards, the in-game items, which are kind of honestly like fireworks. Like some of them are fireworks where you get like the glowy cheer sticks, but they're essentially like a shit ton of fireworks. Those will be mailed to the FC leader. So just keep that in mind. I don't know if the FC leader has to be the one to post it. We just had our leader post it to make sure that it like everything was kind of hunky-dory. But keep that in mind. So if your FC leader is gone but your FC is still chugging along, the in-game items are going to go to them.
Yeah, the FC leader gets like 999 of the fireworks and the glow stick things.
Yeah.
And did you hear about this story? We didn't report on it because I thought it was stupid. But I don't even know how it got like written in a fucking article and shit. But someone was given like 999 boiled eggs, and then they ate every one of them.
I did read that. I thought that was kind of funny.
I hope like some FC leader just takes all 4,000 of these items and pops them one by one in front of the whole FC.
I think the joke is that like people eat a lot of eggs for competitions, and it was just funny because he did it in like a public space, and it just kind of became a thing.
People eat a lot of eggs in competitions.
I feel like that's like a thing. I don't know. I feel like I've seen people like pop the full hard-boiled eggs in their mouth and they're like eating a lot and then another and another and another. I feel like that's a thing.
I'm sure it's a thing. Like there's like one competition,
But it's like a familiar enough thing that it was like, oh, that's okay.
All right, Avi is on the ball for egg eating competitions. Who's your favorite egg eater?
Oh, shush your face, you.
Sonia Thomas.
You.
Yeah. Do I have anything else to say about this? Nah, it's bullshit. No, actually, the feature is cool. There's actually a way for people to promote their FCs now, without like making your own website, posting it into the party finder, and like just yelling at people in city states.
Or going to Reddit and the shouting is in random. Has anyone honestly? Can you like DM us on Twitter or tag us on Twitter if anybody actually joined an FC from like a random shout, and that not just like joined an FC but like stayed with that FC?
Or if you found your love and are married now from it.
I mean, that's actually common, but like
from a shout.
Well, I mean, that's Pete. You're taking it too many levels. Why? I literally am just curious. Like, how effective is this? Like, random shouting in a zone, trying to say that my FC is better than this one because I shout. I don't know. I just don't.
I think we've done that occasionally, like a long time ago.
I never did that
on our Adamantoids.
Maybe
one.
You did.
You get people for like a week, then they leave.
I will like, as an FC officer, I will, if I see a new player who doesn't have an FC, I might send them a private message, and usually it starts with, "I apologize if I'm bothering you, but I noticed you didn't have an FC, blah 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 blah," and then that's it. And then Aurora 42 even says, when I see someone shouting for FCs, I blacklist them. Yeah, I don't know.
So I'm not a fan. I have an alt that I've been playing, and I just get random FC invites. Like no one says anything to me.
That's like a random dick pic. Like nobody wants that. No.
Some people want that.
Some people, but no, don't do that. Talk to the person. I actually did have a lot of people when I was recruiting, I guess, tell me they appreciate how I approached them. Like, no, thank you. I'm happy playing this way, or I'm waiting for a friend or something, but I appreciate how you approached me because I'm not doing that. That's serious.
You were like, would you like a dick pic?
Yes. If you seem like a person who would like my dick pic, would you like my dick pic? I'm not going to send it to you if you don't want it, but I'm sorry if I'm wasting your time. That's how I roll.
Would you consent to a dick pic?
Right. I guess. Boy, I don't know how I did that.
And in some unfortunate news this week, it finally happened. The last fan fest that we were holding out hope for has been canceled. It was announced this week that due to COVID-19, EU FanFest is canceled, like a lot of other things in 2020. That makes it 3 for 3 canceled FanFests. They are now considering going digital and hosting an online event. Stand by for further information, they say.
Yeah, basically to get the details on how they're going to virtually do the event. I think I'm thinking that they're going to do one big virtual event instead of like 3 smaller virtual events. At least I hope that's how they plan on doing it, because I feel like to kind of get the same level of hype, rather than break it up into 3 things, they should do one big, like all of it at once, personally.
Remember when that fireworks display in San Diego went off all at once?
I do. I watched that. It was all the night's fireworks for
4th of July.
4th of July in 10 seconds.
Yeah. It was fucking amazing. You can find it online. It's great.
It was really cool. But we were like,
there's something at the bay, like Blast at the Bay or something like that.
It was pretty sad afterwards. Like, wait, it's done? So I do want to point out, so the Hurricane says, I got an invite from my FC when I joined Hyperion server, and the FC leaders ended up living down the street.
Ooh.
That's pretty cool.
I'd be like, how'd you know it was me?
So of course the big news this week is that we finally got patch 5.35 on Tuesday. We're obviously going to talk about some of the bigger parts of the patch in the discussion, but one of the elements that we always seem to kind of gloss over is the feast. Season 17 is starting, and there are going to be some PvP adjustments that go along with it.
Yeah, I'm thinking about doing the feast, Avi.
Who are you?
The first time in 17 seasons.
Who are 17 seasons?
I'm thinking about it.
Cause she's almost legal.
Yeah. No, more because I've already put myself what I think is the worst and dumbest grind ever,
which is
in the Sky Builder rankings.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like,
wait. So you just want to hate yourself more?
Yeah, I'm doing like all of the shit that I never done because I know it's stupid. Now I just want to do it to prove to myself that it's stupid.
Can you like only do that when I'm not home?
I don't think I'll get as mad at the feast as I will at the Sky Builder rankings.
I hope
Because
not.
when I fuck up at the feast, I'm going to be like, all right, that was my fucking fault. But it's not my fucking fault when I fail 9 times in a row on a 75% chance ability.
I don't think I believe you. You're going to be like, this dude over here, it's their fault. My team was this.
I get a shitty group and he just stands around.
I mean, it's gonna.
But yeah, I feel like it shouldn't be too hard to get top 100, get a reward. I don't think I'll go crazy trying to get top. I don't even know if top 10 gets anything special. I know the top 1 person gets a unique trophy.
Even KK, have fun with that, Avi. Yeah, he knows it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be a flaming pile of poop. I know.
It's gonna be amazing.
I'm gonna be like, hey guys, I'm drinking again tonight. Pete's doing the feast.
Why should tonight be any different?
One to talk.
Speaking of Sky Builder, you're now able to pick up the next quest to continue your Sky Steel tool. This is like the equivalent of a relic, but for crafters. Head on over to Neilmard in the Foundation and pick up the quest in everyone's best interests to work on your Sky Steel tools. That sounds like it should be a show on NPR. Everyone's best interests. Hosted by... Oh, you can't think of a fun name, Avi?
I wasn't trying to. I was going to see if you had anything.
I haven't started any of these yet, so I can't speak to how tedious or not it is compared to the last ones. And thank you, Agitated Salamander, for subbing 11 months now.
Really appreciate you.
What else? Random notes. Lakeland will no longer be separated into multiple instances. Didn't even know that was still a thing.
Yeah, that is kind of surprising, actually, that they're still doing that. But, I feel like maybe that's one of those, the dev team's all working from home, things that would have normally been removed before, but it just kind of got pushed down to the bottom of the list. Because it doesn't really, hurt anything. It's just a little bit of an annoyance if you're in the zone. Like, you're trying to be in the same zone as other people. It's not a big deal. So, that's fine.
I feel like I didn't think that was a thing anymore, because I would, see you, I'd see Chili, I'd see a lot of people, at the Dwarf Beast Tribe. And it's like, why would I see you that often if we had separate instances?
I mean, because I think we generally would go there at the same time. And if you go there, it generally drops you into the lowest populated one. So if we went there around the same time, it would be likely that we'd go in the same one.
I don't know how it works.
Just a thought.
New chapters have been added to New Game Plus, so they're adding 6 parts for A Realm Reborn.
Ooh.
And with that being added, the requirement to unlock New Game Plus will now be completing the quest the Ultimate Weapon.
Ooh.
And speaking with the Wistful Whitebeard in Western Thanaland. So it used to be you had to get through Heaven's Ward because that was the earliest part of New Game Plus. But now that A Realm Reborn, they're pushing it back.
Nice.
For all you Triple Triad fans out there, 2 new Triple Triad cards that you can win from RSCU in Gangos. And a new hairstyle has been added that kind of reminds me of Waka from Final Fantasy X. So now you too can look like a douche.
So it looks like you?
Yep. Got that mohawk.
Cool.
All right, let's see if I can learn something.
Oh, right. I hadn't opened this window yet, so it hadn't gone into dark mode yet. All right, Pete. This is a question I originally asked you in episode 195.
What?
I know. And it's your favorite type of question. Ishgard, the Holy Sea's standard, also known as a flag, in case you don't know.
I was real confused for a second.
I figured. Is I should have remembered how to say this. Assumption. It's like a standard, there's a word. Crest kind of thing. Divided into 4 quarters, each bearing the sigils of the 4 high houses of Ishgard. Which of the following is not a sigil of one of the high houses?
Derriere.
You didn't say Asian. A rose. B, a bell. C, an axe. D, a unicorn. Or E, a turret.
All right. I feel like
I remember what you said last time.
I think I said a bell, and I thought a bell was a real stupid fucking sigil.
I think that was unicorn, actually. I don't think you knew, or maybe you'd finally learned that unicorn was at this point.
Thanks for the hint, Avi. So
You were thinking unicorn? You were still thinking unicorn?
What are they again?
Oh my gosh, you guys. Horsefant, unicorn. That's like an easy one. That's the easiest one.
Okay, unicorn stabs Orchifant through the heart. That's why it's their sigil?
A, which one is not? A, rose. B, bell. C, axe. D, unicorn. E, turret.
Wait.
For all,
That was 5?
yeah, you've got 5 choices. One of them,
no.
because there's 4 on there, and one of them is not.
So I'm guessing unicorn is 1.
I did give that away.
I'm guessing that bell is 1 because I feel like I made fun of bell last time.
It's possible. I thought you guessed unicorn.
We have axe, rose. What's the other one?
Turret.
Turret. Oof. I think turret's a thing because you have the machinist, right?
Maybe.
So then you have an axe or a rose. I'm gonna go with axe.
Why are you going with axe?
Because I don't see any fucking warriors in Ishgard. They got Dark Knights. They got Machinist with their stupid turrets. They're like, we can fight dragons with this.
I actually am impressed, Pete, because you got this right. But you didn't remember it, but your like logic and understanding
Big brain
of the world of Eorzea has improved to the fact that you can at least deduce it from that.
Couldn't tell you which one the fucking rose is.
So big brains.
All right, let's get into some discussion. It looks like we have someone on deck. Let's see what Alshalant has to talk about. Hello, Alshalant. How are you doing tonight, and what would you like to talk about?
And remember to mute the stream.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, we're pretty good. So I think you said you wanted to talk about Bozja. Is that what it was?
Yeah. So that started this week.
So
It's fun, huh?
Bozjan Southern Front, new way to get your relic. You don't have to do it to get your relic. What have you been doing in the Bozjan Southern Front?
Well, today I just got to rank 15, and I cleared the Castrum dungeon too.
Castrum Lacus Latori.
Congratulations.
Which I have now shortened to the clit. So you must say you've beaten the clit if you've beaten that.
Yeah.
Or you found the clit. That works.
Oh my god. I'm so
But yeah, so yeah, the dungeon was fun. It was a little easy with pre-made groups. I tried it a few times with pugs, and it went terribly wrong. But I went with some of my friends from Eureka, and we kind of just mowed it down.
Nice.
And,
So all the Baldessian Arsenal people are going to take it down real quick.
yeah.
They're going to find the clit. They're going to satisfy it.
Oh
Yeah, it's
my
like a
God.
baby Baldessian Arsenal, pretty much.
The clit is like a baby. Sorry. You guys.
That's not what I said.
I'm just listening, and that's where my spent too much time with Pete. I'm sorry. Sorry, Alshalant.
But yeah, Baldessian Arsenal is really unforgiving because you couldn't raise in there, but you could raise anywhere inside the new one. You can even take a raise skill as a paladin.
Oh,
So-
cool.
That's one of those.
So they're
lost
just
actions.
taunting me because I thought Paladin should have raised this whole time?
Maybe.
Yeah.
So rank 15 resistance rank in the Southern Front. That is the max resistance rank, correct?
Yeah.
And I think I got to level 10 my first time in. What do you think about the story? Because I haven't been too impressed. Don't give any spoilers if you can.
Oh, I won't.
But has it impressed you? Because I thought it was a little lackluster compared to the first part.
All the way up until you beat the dungeon is kind of lame. It's kind of just fetch questy, like when you get to each of the 3 parts of Bozja, it's just like go here, go there, and then it unlocks the next part. But once you do the dungeon, there's a really long cutscene, and it's pretty cool.
Okay, that's what I'm into. Because I like the last part. We got our resistance weapons really quickly, but I thought the whole like encounter with Sid inside his memories, I thought that was freaking awesome. So, and like what I've gotten at like level 10 so far has just not been good.
Rank 10?
Rank 10.
Got it. Not trying to be difficult. I'm just making sure.
So,
but it's been pretty fun. Getting the rank ups has been cool. You do the little fates, and then they spawn the big fates that you have to queue for. And I found that these new critical engagements is an answer to complaints from Eureka, because in Eureka everybody would complain that people pre-pull. So now you have to queue up for it and then sit there for 2 minutes to prepare, and then everybody fights at the same time. And there's some other things inside of Bozja that I just feel are direct addressments of complaints that they had from Eureka.
That's like the hope, essentially, because they're still kind of building on what Eureka was. And if you're going to go for like a, I guess, third, fourth, I don't even know how many times you call this, like prove that you're listening to the people and present that in the game.
And I guess the fates just happen so often that no one really cares if they miss one.
Yeah. There's a new one popping as soon as the last one is gone.
Yeah, when we say fates, we're skirmishes. Skirmishes are the fates in there.
They even have the same like marker.
Yeah,
fates.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And then you can pop a critical engagement, and that's when there's like this new queue-in system. There's going to be like a little menu on your screen, and you can queue up for that. That's where you're going to have a better chance of getting into the critical engagement based on... I don't even know what it's based on, like how many fates you've done or what. I don't even know.
If you complete the fate that pops the critical engagement, you get a 2-minute buff that will give you priority to get into that critical engagement. Or you can spend 5 of your clusters at the camp to get an hour buff for an hour of priority access.
Okay.
So yeah, I've only played the Bozjan Southern Front for about an hour. Chili actually was like my guide. He was streaming it. I was like, can I come into Discord so I can ask you a bunch of questions? And none of our critical engagements got to the point where it was more than 48 people, I don't believe. Because we got into every single one we queued for, even if we didn't spawn it, essentially.
Yeah, I got into one like as soon as spawning into the zone, and it was up, and I'm like, oh, I'm in.
Go ahead.
It's not often that you don't get into it, but once you start queuing for the dungeon, that's when you have a chance of not getting in if there's more than 48 people that are ranked 10 or higher. That's why when we made our preformed, all 48 of us in the 6 preformed parties of 8, we all had the priority access, so we all got in together.
Nice. Oh, so you had like I didn't realize your preform was like all 48 preformed. That makes sense because you're part of the whole Eureka like hardcore BA, like do it. Yeah. There was one critical engagement that popped that was like a higher rank. I didn't see it. Chili saw it because he was like rank 13 or something when I was rank 2. But he was like, yeah, 4 people have joined it. They're gonna die. So how often do you see that happen with like the higher ranked ones and then like nobody really goes in?
Yeah, that happens quite a bit. And 2 of them can pop at the same time, and you can register for both of them. And then you pretty much just want to go into the one where it seems like everybody's going to.
Does it allow you to, like, if you've queued for both of them, does it allow you after you've queued to pick which one you want to actually go into?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, there were 2 up one time when I was in there, and I only queued for one. I queued for the one that like the most people were queuing for. And I was like, you suckers. There's only like 12 of you in that other one.
Oh, Chili just dropped a hot take. Reflect seems to work on the Chocobo fate.
Yeah, and
because it's all magic.
Yeah. I haven't even done that fate yet. That one never popped for me, so yeah, I don't know what all the hate is about yet.
And so there's like a lot of actions you can gain in there, and you can probably speak more on this than I can because I didn't get to the part of Eureka where you had the
you
logos.
Just called it Eureka. Oh, I see.
I didn't have the logo system from that. I never used it, but these lost actions are kind of similar to that, right?
Yeah, they are. And we're in such a bad habit, we're still calling them logograms, and nobody knows what we're talking about if we're talking to somebody that didn't do Eureka.
Oh, yeah, that's cute.
And so, like...
it's like me calling them memories Atmas. They're Atmas.
After the critical engagement, there's like a 1v1 fight where it takes one person who did the critical engagement, and it seems like it picks from like a few people that did the best damage or whatever in that, and you have like a random chance of those people of getting in. I've seen mostly tanks, but occasionally I've seen a DPS in there as well. But everyone I've seen so far has just been getting wrecked. I would imagine you have to have those lost actions really on point to be able to beat this 1v1.
Yeah, we haven't quite figured it out yet. I think Mana Wall, which is like a really big defense buff, is going to be key to that. And yeah, there's like 4 of those duels. I don't know exactly which of the critical engagements they're from yet, but you have to like not get hit by any of the AoEs. So it's like all the fates that have hella AoEs, like the Chocobo and the Guard Scorpion and 2 of the other ones. I forget which ones. But if you don't get hit by any of the AoEs, like during the hell AoE phase, then it'll give you a chance to queue for it. And if there were multiple people, it'll just choose somebody at random.
Cool. So I actually haven't heard. Has anyone beat it yet?
I haven't seen anyone.
I haven't either.
I haven't seen anybody either. No.
That's cool.
And you can get a title and an achievement for beating each of the duels.
I actually think that's really cool that we haven't had somebody beat it yet. Like, that makes me happy. Oh, people have beat them. Yes. All 3 have died. Oh, okay. So people have beat them.
Well, I haven't seen.
Thank you. Agitated Salamander just said that in chat. Thank you. I'm surprised that wasn't like more publicized. Like, I actually hadn't really.
I think it's cool that like it's not like so easy that anyone can do it.
Right.
Like it's not like you just randomly got picked and you're going to be able to do it. Like you actually have to pay attention. You have to know the system. Like I wanted to do it because I knew I would get wrecked really
I would be
fast.
terrified if I got picked. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
So one time I was in the like, we're deciding who's going to be the duel and you're like in the consideration. And I was like, oh, come on. Yes, I want it so bad.
I would be like, no. Oh.
So is there anything else about Bozja you wanted to mention?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to talk about the relics themselves a little bit because those memories that you get in Bozja, you get them a lot faster from the Heavensward Fates. They're 100% drop rate.
Yep. If you get gold, that's why in the Greenleaf Minute I wanted to share that you had to pick up the quest first. Because I know I wasn't alone in the person who thought, oh, well, I started the Bozjan Southern Front quest. I can go do that now. And then I was like, wait, that was gold and nothing dropped. So. Yeah.
So basically, if you just want to do your resistance weapon, just go to Heavensward and do fates there. That's going to be a lot faster. But if you want to eventually go to the Southern Front of Bozja and get your resistance rank up, and you don't need your relic weapon for a while because, I mean, it's not that much better than the tome weapon right now.
I mean, it's got 5 slots.
I know, but that's like that. It's not that much better for the average player. Like it's not going to help you get through dungeons that much faster.
That's valid.
So I would say do the Southern Front of Bozja if you want to get your rank up and get whatever memories you can from that. And then once you hit rank 15, finish all the story in there, then go into Heavensward to get your...
Or you can kind of do both at the same time. I feel like if you want to get your relic right away, those are the people going for the fates, which is cool. But if you want to do Bozjan Southern Front, it's almost like the relic drops are kind of like a perk that happens while you do it.
Yeah, I get that, but I still don't think, like, outside of the Bozja Southern Front, it needs to be a better drop rate than inside.
I'm not agreeing with it. I'm just saying that's how it is right now.
Because as much as we complained about Eureka, I was like, I wish there was another way outside of Eureka for me to do it. But when I was saying that, like, I would always assume that if they added something else, it'd be a lot fucking slower. I'm like, that's fine. I'll do it slower just because I don't like the intended way you wanted me to do it.
So I'm actually curious, and Alshalon, I want you to answer this. So Chili says he feels that Heavensward Fates needs the nerf. I've heard a lot of people say that Southern Bozjan Front needs a buff. Where do you stand?
I would rather the Bozja get a buff so I could do the new stuff and feel like it's rewarding me more because I hate fates. So going back to Heavensward to do fates is painful.
But it's only 60 fates?
Yeah, and do you
guys
guys know
about fates, man? After 5 fates, I'm fucking done.
Do you guys know about the part after those 60 memories when you have to
do the dungeons? Yeah.
I've heard of dungeons. I don't know what it is.
I hate dungeons too. So I hate fates. I hate dungeons.
Then don't do it. Then you don't need your relic weapon. It's okay. Just don't get it.
You know you play an MMO, right?
Yeah.
I do. I actually think that I think the Fates should be nerfed, and this is just because I remember farming for books. I remember farming for Atmas. I remember how much of a grind the relic weapons always were. But I also think that the Southern Bozjan Front is also like too stingy. So I think that could use a buff, like a slight buff. I don't want this 100% drop rate. I think that's too easy. I mean, even if it was like 60-70% drop rate, which is still a really good drop rate, it'd be better than like, I don't know, 100% is like,
give it the current yokai drop rate. I mean, I've been doing those. I think it's fine.
That'd be nice. And you get them not even just from the fates and the critical engagements, but if you're farming monsters for the lost actions or anything, they could randomly pop too.
I had some really good luck with actually some of the random monsters, and Chili was getting a little grumpy toward me because it was my first time in, and he had really bad luck. But I mean, I can't hate on him. For that.
I don't like killing mobs that aren't aggro to me.
You don't like killing mobs. You don't like doing fates or dungeons.
No.
Why are you guys playing this game?
I don't like mobs. I don't like killing mobs that are not aggro to me.
Is this like the vegan in you?
No,
that's
it's just like, why am I going to attack something that's not attacking me?
Seriously, Pete? Because you need to kill it.
But I wasn't getting my fragment. And I was like, okay, I've been killing all these aggro mobs. I'm going to kill one of these fucking mobs that isn't aggro to me. And then it fucking dropped the fragment I needed.
Because you're wrong.
I'm like, okay, just guess I'm killing everything now.
I've been pulling all the robot monsters that drop the clusters and just pulling them into the fate so other people kill them for me.
Yeah.
Ah.
It's been pretty cool.
Nice. That is hand. And you still get credit for it. That's pretty clever.
Yeah.
You bitch. Now, no, I like that's actually a really good tip. Now everyone's going to be doing that. They're like, why are all these mobs here?
So I guess another thing to consider for the Bozjan Southern Front is you can do it on a character that isn't level 80. So you're potentially getting XP as well as working on relic.
I went in as my Dragoon. It was the only class I actually have to level 70. I think it just hit 72, and in an hour I hit 73. I don't even know how far into 73 I am, but it was pretty. I know I had just hit 72.
Yeah, pretty much every job I need a level I haven't played in a year at least, so I didn't want to go in any of those.
But to get from 72 to 73, like, and pretty well into 73 in like less than an hour was really good. But especially when I didn't know what I was doing.
As a fan of Deep Dungeon, though, the fact that we aren't getting a Deep Dungeon because of this, I don't think it's a good trade.
Well, I don't think you can voice that opinion until you've done the 48-man hard mode of the clitory thing.
The clit?
Because I feel like you're like prematurely judging this. Like it's almost like the Deep Dungeon has been released, but it's only like the first 30 floors or whatever. So it's you can't what you're missing out on. Let me finish.
No.
What you're missing out on is that extra hard content where you get to those further floors. And I'm talking. Or I'm speaking.
Right,
what was it? What you're missing is like the harder element of it. And I think that's once we get there, you'll be happy with that.
But I was thinking more of as a leveling tool.
I don't mind as long as it's a grind no matter what.
Not a hard content thing.
You never use the deep dungeons to level. You didn't.
Occasionally.
No, you didn't.
But last time,
from someone who freaking spammed goddamn heaven on high to get her freaking dancer to level 80 so she could do the Shadowbringers content with it, you never did them to like quickly like. Bam, I'm going to level a character.
Are you arguing in front of Alshalon?
Yes.
But it's not a fair trade because we had Baldesion Arsenal, which is what the clit is, and we still had a deep dungeon.
But that's the point isn't the point isn't what we got before, and it's not the same thing. I don't think it is the same thing. The point is this is something new, and they're making it harder and different to get to, and so it's like kind of a merging of those two things. And chat, you guys just can't even with all this clit talk. I don't even know. What do you think, Alshalon? Come on, just agree with me.
I'm kidding. I stand impartial.
That's totally valid.
Do you think there's enough in the Southern Front of Bozja in its entirety to justify not having another deep dungeon?
As it stands right now, I don't think so. But it's going to get updated in 0.45.
I feel like you have to judge this as if we've only gotten half of a deep dungeon.
But we got all this in Eureka.
'Cause it's a little stale, just what they release, just the one zone and the one dungeon. You know,
Mm.
it's a little stale. It could get really grindy. You know.
I
So,
feel like the deep dungeons for me, like if you're doing them to farm them to level, first of all, you're doing the same 10 floors over and over again. We all
Yeah.
know that. You do the same 10 floors because those are the most efficient floors. So that I guess if you're going to compare it to like leveling like that, that's kind of similar since you're only doing that same set. And what made that bearable was if you were in there with friends on audio chat. And I think that's kind of a similar element to the Bozjan Southern Front is what makes it fun to do is if you're doing that, same 10 floors with friends and talking and just kind of goofing off.
I agree, and I think that's something that Bozjan Southern Front has in common with Eureka. Like Eureka, when I was just drinking, shooting the shit with people while we were doing it, I think it's a fun night. All right, we're just running around killing
It's like
NMs.
maps. Yeah.
It's like maps. It's brain dead content.
And chat's actually making, like KK made a good comment. I don't think a third deep dungeon would have been as well received because Heaven on High and McGreen was not nearly as well received as Palace of the Dead.
Dude, Heaven on High was so much better than Palace of the Dead.
But it wasn't as well received.
Not my fault. People are idiots.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I had more fun with Palace of the Dead than I did Heaven on High.
Heaven on High was so much better because you didn't have to waste so much time trying to get to the max level.
Other than that, what makes it better?
I thought the levels were more fun. I mean, every job is better when you have more abilities.
Of course.
So fucking playing something at level 50 fucking sucks.
But I mean, that was when that Palace of the Dead was released. Like that was what we had.
Yeah, it was
So
cool.
it didn't.
It was
it
the
didn't.
shit.
It
So
didn't
give us
suck the-
another cool thing like that.
It's not a cool thing if it's the same thing.
Yeah, because no one likes the iPhone every year.
Oy.
All right, Alshalon, anything you want to add before we move on?
Just the other thing about there, I since you guys haven't done the dungeon yet, once you do the dungeon, you get drops in there to buy relic armor at eye level 495. That's pretty cool.
Is it brand new armor, or do you need like the stuff from that one Extreme Primal?
It's the new.
It's new. You buy it with coins that you get from drops from
They are
chests in the dungeon.
very expensive. Yeah. I think Chili said you get like 24 of those coins from one run of the dungeon. Chili's actually wearing the gear in front of you, Pete, if you want to see it. But isn't it like 99 per piece?
It's 96 for a whole set.
Oh, okay.
And then upgrading the pieces, like the small pieces, like the shoes and the gloves, upgrading it for haste in Bozja is 500, and like the chest and the pants is 999 coins.
Are you disappointed? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
They also have random upgrade materials that drop in there too, so they don't really want you to spend all those coins to upgrade it. They
Got
want
it.
you to get the drops.
Are you disappointed that our gear is not shiny? Because like the Eureka like relic gear was so shiny and cool, like it makes me want to go in and get it. And this like feels like they were kind of trying to capture some of like the near grittiness, like the mud splatters on the boots. That was mud and boot combined as butt.
I'm sure by the time we get the BA2 and 0.45 that they'll have some kind of glow or animation or something.
But do you think this particular gear, the way they designed it, is gonna look good with a glow? Like, I mean, the glowy gear always kind of had like a metallic element to it to kind of feel kind of futuristic, and this just feels like, ripped up trench coats and stuff.
Yeah, it is sort of ugly, but I glamour as a frog anyway, so
just pair it with the
You're
parasol.
like a Pete. Yeah, just another parasol. So yeah.
All right, Alshalon. Well, thank you so much for calling in. Really appreciate your input, and congratulations on finding the clit, beating that clit real good.
Yeah, thanks, Pete.
Oh
and
my
I'm
god.
glad to hear you're doing better.
Thank you.
So I hope you guys have a good night, and thanks for having me on to talk with you guys.
Thank you, Alshalon. Any shout outs you want to give really quick?
Just to
not
put you
at
on
the
the
moment,
spot.
no.
He's like, nah, everyone's been kind of a dick to me lately.
Damn
Fuck
it,
'em.
Pete, put me on the spot. No, and then in like an hour, he's like, oh, I should have said that person. That's always me.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alshalon. Have a good night.
Yep.
Bye.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Good night.
All right. Really quick in chat, Buttery Crumpet says another reason why a deep dungeon wouldn't work well is, in my opinion, because we're slowly seeming to just want constant enemies to fight. So I think maybe a horde mode style dungeon is perhaps what people are after nowadays. I'm not exactly sure what horde mode is, but I assume it's just
a horde.
constant
Yeah.
thing. And I kind of agree, and I think it would be cool if there was an option of Palace of the Dead where you didn't have to like unqueue from it and then like queue back in. If you could just go through all the levels in like a one shot.
I'm blanking on the name of the game right now. It's one of my favorite games actually, but there was like a zombie level where you were in like a room, like a hotel room essentially, and your character had like a shotgun, and it was like just a wave of zombies, and the level basically ended when you were overwhelmed with zombies. Like you fought as so like that's like the horde mentality. It'd be kind of interesting to see something like that in Final Fantasy where the goal was to see who could survive the longest and kill the most.
That could actually work pretty well as like a different map thing as well.
I don't know, just that would be kind of a like cool concept to see which job actually does the best with that, like a solo thing.
If like one of the like special maps that you got was just you fighting off wave after wave, and just one single
like
room,
you're meant to die,
but you're getting like rewards based on how many waves of enemies you beat instead of trying to guess the right door.
Yeah. That would be cool. I don't know.
I think that'd be cool. And like, I still think Lords of Verminion sucks, and it would have been so much better as a tower defense game where you had to like put your minions to kill mobs as they're coming down to.
I still wouldn't play it, but sure.
It'd be so much more fun. I love tower defense games.
I know.
So sticking on the Southern Front of Bows here really quick, Avi, did you notice the music at all?
Yes. What is it from?
I don't know what it's from, but it reminded me of Star Wars.
No, it's from another zone or a dungeon in the game.
It's not even original music?
It's from Final Fantasy 14. Like, it's from another dungeon.
But I mean, it's not specific to Bozja? Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you sure you weren't just riding one of your mounts?
It's the music from 12 is what Buttery Crumpets just said. I know the music. Like, the music is legit, like, not new.
I have not played 12.
Might be like a remix kind of version of it, but no, I know this music. I just can't.
Like whenever we started a Fate, I'm like, oh, it seems like an action sequence of Star Wars. It's like about to get going.
For me, it was just annoying because I'm like, I know this. What is it from? Thank you, Buttery Crumpets.
So yeah, I thought the music was good.
I enjoyed it. I like the fact that you notice it, which means 14. The music's amazing, but if you notice the music, it's generally for a good reason.
Yeah, I was getting annoyed because I would ride my mount everywhere, but I have the option turned on where it like plays the music from the mount.
I turn that off whenever there's a new zone.
I had to turn that off.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the music from it. The zone itself. What did you think about the zone itself, Avi?
Chili told me how much you didn't like it.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool because it was different, and I can't think of the word for like the ditch that was
trench.
The trench. Thank you. I felt that for the story, I haven't left the first area because I just got rank 5 right before I logged off. So I wasn't even allowed to like leave the first little starting area. But I liked the idea of the trench because it made it feel like the gear is gritty and dirty and you're like in the trenches and it's like this war. I don't know. I felt that it lended itself to the world that they were trying to present.
I didn't think it did enough of that, which was my problem. Yeah, we had a trench. It looked kind of warlike, but there just wasn't enough going on in the zone. And I thought the zone was kind of...
What would you have wanted?
I want like... I would have preferred like more mobs, like just like aggroing everything, like, and more like fucking like Machina that we're supposed to be fighting. Like,
well, you have to remember though that is like, well, I haven't seen the whole zone yet, and you haven't seen the whole zone yet either. So we're in the starting area of the war, so it's very likely that the further you get, the more there will be.
It just seemed kind of empty to me. Like there wasn't that much going on. You'd go to the Fate, and then the Fate would disappear after you beat it, and I don't know. It wasn't doing it for me.
Well, so like I felt like we were very close to our fort where we were located, at least in that starting area.
I get it. So it's like our area. There's
so
probably not
there
going to
wouldn't be as many. Yeah. So it's like the further away from
But it is like we're supposed to be pushing them back, and I didn't really get that sense.
I haven't gone far enough to actually give a comment to that. But I was okay with it. It didn't bother me. I think what you would have liked is something that isn't really capable in this sort of a zone is like in the dungeons, they have kind of on the sidelines like NPCs fighting with the mobs, and it makes it feel more like a war area. But you can't do that in an open instance like this without those mobs also being like you having the ability to attack them.
I kind of wish there was a little more story and immersion to go with it at the beginning. Like if for a couple of the fates they actually gave us like a briefing with the person, because like occasionally you get to a fate and there's like starred characters there, and we can get like a lore drop from them and stuff like that.
Yeah, the cards.
Like if we would have had a briefing with them and they're like, we're going on this mission to push them back from here,
but then
like,
they would have to do that every single time.
No, I'm saying you do it once and then
but no, they wouldn't do that, because then if they did it once, then the people who are doing it the first time could very likely miss out on the entire fate. So they can't, because everybody would kill everything in the time it took to do that. Legit, Pete. The fates go down fast.
You can work it out. I'm sure you can.
I think it's a really cool idea, but I don't think the logistics of it are feasible.
Well, the alternative is, at least in my opinion, you get a boring zone.
You're allowed your opinion.
But I think we talked about everything else I had from here. Mounts and minions. You can get a mount from you can get it from a lockbox, I believe. Yeah, so you have to get lucky for that one.
Yes.
And then also there's one if you get 180 of the clusters.
Cool.
And I don't know how you get the minions from this.
Chili gave me a minion. I have one in game. I think of the
What?
Yeah, it's on my character right now. It's like a cute little dog.
You gave her a minion before me.
He likes
Chili.
me more than you. It's like a
Son
little
of
dog.
a
It's
bitch.
the noisiest minion to follow you around, though. You guys, like, this thing is loud. Like, its freaking gears need some like oil. The dance lift dog is a minion from the lockbox.
Thank you, Buttery Crumpets.
I did get from my lockbox. I got like a little housing item, which it's like a little robot. Not a super fan of it. And I went to see what it was selling for on the market board. It's selling for exactly what you sell it to the merchant. And then one person actually posted it for a single gil. So there are a lot of those. Someone wants to build something out of them in a house.
So maybe the most important question to ask about this, Avi, is it fun?
I had fun with Chili, but I think I had fun because I was with Chili.
Yeah, it's going to be fun mostly because of the people you're with.
Yeah.
Even if you're running with a pug. Like if you join like a random group, it's going to be fun. Or if no one's talking, maybe it's not so fun and it's just kind of boring.
Yep.
Kind
of like, but that's very much like the deep dungeons and kind of like Eureka too. Like any of that kind of repetitive stuff gets boring unless you have conversation or like a group to kind of hang out with.
For me, it is the critical engagements that saved it for me.
That's fair. It is fun. It adds a little like, ooh, a thing. And
maybe what got even more talk than the Bozjan Southern Front this week with the release of 5.35 was housing, Avi.
Oh, yeah.
Both you and I lucky enough to already have our houses, so we didn't have to partake in housing Savage.
I'm one of the crazy people who was lucky enough like to buy a house before it got so savage. Like I was literally just running around. I'm like on Gilgamesh, like there's a vacant house, and I looked.
That was when the reclaim timer was still on.
Yes,
and I was able to do the same thing. I had to compete to get mine. I had to go to the placards and.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally stayed there the whole time and clicked all night. Wink. Yeah, housing is awful. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
What can be done about it, Avi?
Just take it all away. Take it all away. If you can't share your toys, you don't get any toys.
If we can't all have housing, no one gets housing.
Well, it's not about everyone having housing that is like the shitty part. It's the people who don't share. It's the people who are dicks who buy lots of houses because they manipulate the system and they do it just because they can. And they're still doing that even though they put all those fixes into place. The fixes don't work because people are dicks. Like, I just don't understand that mentality. I really don't.
You want to know on that whatever. I can't think of a word at the moment. But on that front,
great podcaster.
The thing that I don't understand is the people that were griefing others by relocating from plot to plot to plot just to make that reset timer so people had to click on that thing over and over and over again.
Again, that's someone who's like, you're just a troll to be a troll. Like, That, in my opinion, anyone who's doing that is just a miserable, unhappy, sad, pathetic person. And they're finding joy from making other people miserable, and they should be banned from the game.
I mean, I don't know if you can ban him from the game.
I would ban him from the game.
I definitely sign on to you're a miserable, hopeless person.
But there needs to be some sort of consequences for treating other people that way.
Yeah, they should tell us their names and we should all get to shame them.
No, that's not enough. They would love that. That's a troll, like being like, fine, shame me, bring it at me. Like, I don't care. Like, ugh. And so one idea that was brought up to at least stop people from doing that is like, you can't relocate again for a certain period of time, like 1 to 3 days. Like, you relocate once, you can't relocate again for another day. Yes, please, because
honestly, it only has to be like an hour because all the plots are taken in an hour.
Right? But man, that's just you being like, I got a lot of gil and I'm just gonna freaking
not even a lot
grief
of gil.
people.
Like a small house takes like 1 million gil.
I mean, for some people, that's a lot of gil. I've got like 10 million gil. That'd be like a lot to me.
You could do that like 9 times.
It would be
9 times.
It would still. That's not. I'm not gonna spend gil on shit like that. No. That makes me sad. Like, that makes me sad that I don't know that people even have that kind of a mentality, especially right now with the world the way it is. Like,
go off on them, Avi.
Well, it's just really hard.
Call them what they are, trash people.
It's just hard on everybody right now, and to take like the escape that people have right now, just their video game generally. Like, some people have multiples, but like your MMO is your escape. It's your way to like kind of just not be in your house right now, maybe, and then to just be a jerk just for the sake of being a jerk. I don't get it. I don't get it. And
I agree. They should be banned.
They should be banned. Yeah.
And they should kick your mother in the clit.
Yeah. Like, not that, but ban them.
Yeah. You're fucking bad people. Be better. Yeah. Housing. I think the lottery is the way to go.
Well, so like I liked when you guys kind of talked about the lottery, because there was like a way where you'd have to, so it was like buying tickets for the house, but in order to buy the tickets for the lottery for the house, you could buy 1 ticket per house, but the ticket cost as much as the house would. And so it would like put that much gil on hold. And then it was like a random.
I remember some people in our Discord definitely had some pretty intricate
but that one I actually liked, because it was kind of like in the real world, if you're putting a bid on a house, you're trying to buy this house, it's kind of a lottery as to like who's gonna take my bid. And part of when buying a house,
and I'm not gonna let you get away with that. It's not like a lottery. It's whoever pays the most money.
But in our case, the other person like kind of backed out. And sometimes if you have people
backed out,
let me finish.
Divorce.
If you have multiple people who are offering the same amount of money for the house, then they look at like your stories or like other information you kind of add on, because we were told we won basically our house because they liked our story. They liked, that I was a veteran and that, we were newly married, and that was why they wanted to offer us the house. So you made me lose my freaking train of thought.
But we didn't get offered the house. They went with the most money.
After that one backed out, like then it was a.
But we had to meet the price that they offered.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we did.
Pete, this isn't the time. This isn't the time. We didn't meet the price they offered. We met the price that they like listed the house at.
You have a point you're gonna go on?
Because you totally fucking like made me lose my train of thought.
Yeah, that's definitely not a lottery though. To me, a lottery is.
Oh, my point was you have to have the money in hand.
Okay.
To get it, and so I feel like by making the tickets more expensive, you limit the number of houses people can buy into the lottery. But I guess then those people who have like millions and millions of gil, it won't really affect. So I don't know.
So some people, when they said lottery, they were kind of thinking of raffle, where you could buy as many tickets as you wanted, which I don't think is right, because then it favors the people that just have a ton of money.
Yeah.
To me, it would just be like, okay, when we're introducing 3 new boards, you sign up at this NPC, you say, I would like to buy a house. And then on patch day, your character is either flagged for, yes, you can buy a house, or no, sorry, you didn't win the lottery, you can't buy a house this time. And then you log on and you tried, you're guaranteed a house, but it might not be a large house. That's where the race comes in, where everyone that is able to buy a house is able to get one, but if you want a large, you better log on right at the beginning.
Right.
But if you don't care, hey, you can log in at noon that day.
So you want more of like a Comic-Con kind of mentality.
Exactly.
Yeah, where you get into the Hall H, but if you're not at the front of the line, you're going to sit in the back, but you're still there.
Yeah, so for those that don't know, Comic-Con used to be a first come, first serve thing.
Yep.
And we dealt with that system for so long, but eventually it just started like crashing every damn time. And now they say, join this waiting room at 8. We're going to start pulling people in to buy tickets at 9. So,
through a lottery, though.
Through a lottery. And the sooner you get in, you'll probably be able to get, all 4 days. If you get in at the very end, you might only be able to get a Sunday. So that's kind of, it's the most fair.
Yeah.
Like, I know
everyone, what it is everybody joins the lobby at the same time, and then from everybody joining the lobby at that time, there's a random selection of those people. And so I actually do think this would be a good, so like the problem is like the people who get stuck in the queue who then can't get waited in. That's kind of the lottery in that sense.
I don't think we need the waiting room part. We can just do, you sign up with that NPC, and then when you log in, you're either able to or you're not.
It'd be interesting. I definitely think it needs to be fixed, or I'm personally not opposed to instanced housing because
that's the ultimate solution.
They've done it with, that's what the apartments are. The apartments are essentially an instanced room, so why don't they just make an instanced house?
And instance is better because I know a lot of people don't ever want to admit it, but at some point this game will die, and as it's on the downslope, there's going to be less houses, so you're going to end up with wards that only have 50% of the houses in there taken.
Yeah.
But
that doesn't help anything now.
But there's probably going to be all large houses taken throughout all the wards.
Right. And I actually am okay if they're going to do instanced housing. And this is kind of shitty of me to say, I guess, but I don't hate that being cash shop.
Oh, I hate it being cash shop.
I don't.
You should be able to...
Because it's really hard to get an in-game house. But if you really want one and you're not willing to, or you're not able to get one in the game, then you can pay cash and get one. Like, I don't hate that.
No, because if they make it a cash shop thing, then it's just going to be a cash shop thing.
Right.
But I want to be able to have a free house.
But you have there is the possibility of having a free house, even if it didn't work out for you.
So you're saying keep housing how it is, but add instance housing as a cash shop item.
If the issue is like the servers, then having it as a cash shop item, like you're making more money to, not like a rent thing, like a one-time thing, charge as much as one freaking mount, because they charge like $35 for a mount. Like,
oh, I totally agree. They should have the money to implement instance housing already. But my thing is, if you want to do that housing and a cash shop thing, I'm okay if you want to add like all these different skins and stuff to the houses as cash shop items. I don't give a fuck about that. So that's another possible way they could add money or generate money by just adding more skins for housing and stuff like that. I don't care about that, but I think basic housing should be a free thing in any MMO nowadays. And so you should be able to get a basic small house if you want for free. That should not be a cash shop item.
That's fair. I'm just saying. I think the issue right now with the housing is because the timers were stopped. And I feel like once the timers are gone, or timers are back active again, like the houses are available. I think the issue for what I'm saying is because the timers aren't there. So like if the timers are gone, the houses can get demolished. There is the possibility to get a house in game if you're not willing to stand there and click and try to get it. And it is a possibility, which right now kind of makes that moot, but this is a very specific situation. Possibility is there, but if you don't want to deal with that, then you can buy a cash house. Like that's kind of how I view it.
Yeah. And I think a solution to the whole demolish timer thing is also that instead of having a demolish timer, you could add a rent thing, but not a real money rent thing. Just have like a lockbox at your house that costs like 500,000 gil a month or something like that.
I would not have my house. I would know that then only the people with the most money can freaking have houses.
500,000 gil a month, that's nothing.
To a crafter?
To anyone.
To a crafter?
I haven't crafted shit forever.
Pete, 500,000 gil is a lot to me.
A month.
Yes.
If you just send your retainers out, you get that easily.
No, my retainers like to bring me back fish.
All right, 100,000 a month.
That I would do.
and then like you're
Oh
locked.
wait, you're thinking because you have a large house. I have a small house. I'm not paying 500 freaking thousand gil a month for a freaking small house.
Fine. Small house, whatever, 100,000. Large house, 1 million. I'll pay $1 million a month. I don't give a shit. We gotta get some gil out of this game. There's no gil sinks in this game. But you can like
Just because you don't glamour, you also don't decorate your house. You buy a house and you garden with
I just
it.
paid $5 million or gil for someone to decorate my house.
That's nothing. That's actually really cheap for the items.
Alright.
Saying for a freaking mansion. Great glamour is a gil
So
sink.
part of me
All
wants
the
to just
things
like get rid of all my gil and see how long it takes me to
All
get
the
it back.
things that are like gil sinks, Pete, are the things you don't do in game. That's why you don't think the game is a gil sink. I'm telling you right
It's
now.
not my fault people like doing dumb shit.
No. Just because you don't do it doesn't mean it's dumb. All right.
Moving
Moving on.
Buttery Crumpet says, normally I agree with Pete, but Avi is right on this one if it's $1 million.
I don't know what it was in reference to.
I think that might be within the rent I was kind of talking about. But my thing was we could get rid of the demolition timer by if you could put like 6 months of rent on your
You
retainer.
literally want to make it like real life where if you can't make your rent, you get evicted.
Yeah.
I get where you're going. I think no. I don't like that.
Come on.
Because
isn't that better than if you
no, because you can own a house and keep it fucking empty because you don't put any effort into decorating the thing because that's what costs all the money.
Okay, what about this though? When the demolition timer is on, it requires you to keep a subscription.
The game always requires you to keep a subscription.
No, right now you could not have a subscription and you'd keep your house.
Oh, yeah, I don't agree with that. I think
So, if you could put 6 months of rent onto your retainer to take it away, you wouldn't have to have a subscription for 6 months.
I don't like this. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Just add instance housing. Make everyone happy, Square Enix.
Yes.
No one cares about fucking neighborhoods.
Yes.
I don't know who my fucking neighbors are. Avi, you've done a lot of stuff since.
I mean,
Well, I know we are pretty long, but I wrote down stuff to talk about that Avi's been doing since she hasn't had a voice to talk about. You've done some extreme or savage raiding. You've done craft and gathering.
so you literally want to take like the 7 weeks of things I didn't have time to talk about and like smash it.
I'm gonna have you talk about what has been either your favorite or your most surprising. Like, I didn't expect you to get into crafting and gathering, but that's something you ended up doing when you didn't have a voice. Maybe what was your favorite? What was the most surprising? Or what gave you comfort while you had no voice and you were playing the game? I know it was kind of just communicating with people in general.
It's just talking to people in general.
But is there any, like, I know you did the Moogle Beast Tribes, and now you know why everyone hates the Moogles.
I actually only have to do one more day of it, and then it's fully done because I thought I was done, but I wasn't, and because I got the mount. I actually didn't enjoy leveling my gatherers. I didn't enjoy doing the Moogle Beast Tribe. I mean, the dwarves were okay, but like I still don't. I mean, it was nice to know how to craft the things. I don't know.
You actually kind of learned how to craft.
Yeah, like Chili is the one who let me know how much I had learned when I was like, "How are you failing on this, Chili?" Like I wanted to be like, "Let me just Pete taught me. Let me teach you. I can show you this." But that's what made me kind of go on the rant from last week about like the learning how to craft when you've got there too quickly, essentially. I think of like the raiding, the leveling my crafters, the beast tribes. Like a lot of it's just been like those busy work thing. I kind of got like this. It didn't like I was gonna level all my jobs to 80, and then I started playing Witcher 3, which I've never played. So now I don't know how much I'm gonna level them all to 80 because that game's amazing. I think that the element that I enjoyed the most that I like missed was the raiding, and I don't think it's because we're doing high-end raiding. I don't actually think it's about the content. I think it's because there's a group of us who meets twice a week and we hang out and we goof and we laugh at each other. And if we don't have enough people, we do maps.
Yeah.
And I think it's that little bit of community that like you have over chat, which for 6-7 weeks of it I couldn't talk. I just like snapped at Pete and laughed.
I remember the first week she started to have a voice back. Like the new people in her raid are like, "Oh my god, I'm so happy you have a voice now. I'm gonna be able to hear all these jokes. Everyone's shitting on Pete."
Not everyone's shitting on Pete?
You're everyone.
Oh, okay. I guess that is true then. But yeah, I think that's been the thing I've enjoyed the most. So I think if you can get a group of people to like, have at least a weekly thing where you guys do maps or you do the Bozjan Southern Front and you get on Discord and you chat, it helps you feel less alone right now with kind of everything going on. Because I mean, like, yeah, you can like type with everybody, but having that like weekly appointment where you guys just do stuff together is really nice.
Yeah, some days you don't do what's planned, you do something else, and you just shoot the shit.
Yeah, and it's because you guys like have like that whole like repertoire kind of built up with each other. Like it's just kind of fun. I don't know but that's probably what I've enjoyed the most. And I miss that because we've gone through phases where we've had groups like that, even if it was just like beating extreme primals, like going through and farming for mounts. Like there's so many things to do in this game that like having a set group of 8 people can do together, even just one day a week. And I think that's the most, for me at least, it's like the most fun way to play the game is to at least once a week have a group that you do shit with.
And we have had times where like someone's out and then maybe you like take it down a notch and try to clear some lower level content with some new people who have never cleared it before. And I get just as much reward out of that.
I did not get reward out of 2.5 hours of doing the Shiva Unreal.
It's a lot easier when there's only like one person new.
Yeah.
When there's 3 person new, it's a little harder.
Wait, that was a combination though of Pete going, we're going to do 3 people new and do Shiva Unreal. And Avi, you haven't streamed by yourself in weeks. You streamed this because I'm tired and then I'm going to pick on you the whole time. That was just a bad combo.
At least she knows who the boss is.
Shiva?
Yeah. Step on your neck, I tell you.
It's not you.
I will love it.
But yeah, so that's the end of my things I've been doing. I mean, and it's not
that maybe Avi doesn't feel good out of helping you people, but I do.
You people,
you peons.
It was hard. I was trying to be nice and stream, and I hadn't streamed in so long, and I hadn't been talking much for so long. So I'd kind of said, I'd said at the beginning, I don't want to be doing Shiva Unreal all night if I'm streaming this because I wanted to keep it light. I see you, Pete. I said that.
Huh?
I said that.
Oh, yeah.
And that was part of why I got so frustrated because I wanted it to be just like.
I wasn't even bringing that up, Avi. You're bringing all this up now.
Okay. Anyways.
But I'm glad that you have been enjoying doing stuff with a full static anyways, Avi.
Fucking jerk.
Yeah, I found it quite funny that you were cursing the Moogles when I'm like, yeah, and you used to always question why I hated the fucking Moogles.
Yeah, they're the most annoying thing about the Moogle quests is not like all the quests beforehand. Even it's even if you're doing the beast tribes,
to me it was all the quests beforehand.
Well, no, it's that too, but it's also like the zone is so big, and so like it takes me 3 times as long to do my Moogle beast tribes as it does to do my Dwarven beast tribes because they're so spread out, and that's annoying too. Like they're just. Like, okay, I flew all the way over here and I flew all the way over there. Oh, and you want me to fly all the way back to the other southern side? Fuck you guys. And then that one quest is done. Like, it's just, ugh.
I actually don't remember the Moogle, like the actual beast tribe quest that much.
It's a lot of,
I don't remember
it's one end of the map to the other end of the map to the other end of the map. It's
to me, it was like, because you know how I don't do side quests really?
Yeah.
So then when I wanted to do the Moogle beast tribes, I had to do all those quests to get to them.
Yeah, I did too. I enjoyed the Namazu quests, actually. I did the Namazu quest before I did the Moogles. The Namazus are just like, I don't know.
It was a better story,
It was,
too.
yeah. They were just like ridiculous and goofy and silly, and I had fun with that.
Onikaru, thank you so much for that Twitch Prime sub. 8 months. Thank you. So we should get to the community roundup, partner.
I want to share this because I'm so proud of her. This is not Final Fantasy XIV related, but Hyper Pixie Gaming, one of my very best friends in the whole world, this week just made the ESO stream team, and I'm so freaking proud of her. She's actually doing a charity stream right now as we stream this podcast. She made the ESO
stream team. She's met the requirements for partner, so she's applied for that.
I know the applying for partner is cool, but to me, so when she first started streaming, she and I had like this we're just talking about it, and she had said, my goal is to make ESO Stream Team. It wasn't about partner. It wasn't about anything else. It was about making ESO Stream Team. And this week she did. And I think yesterday was her very first stream as an official ESO Stream Team member, where she gets to give away like in-game codes and all this stuff. And I don't know, it was just so exciting for me. And like today, when we record the podcast, I always open her stream up in the other window to make sure I can give her a view, just to kind of like help with her numbers. And I opened it up today and she had over 100 views. And I was just like, my little baby's all grown up. So I was just really, really happy for her. So congratulations, Pixie. You deserve it, and you're awesome, and I love you.
Yeah, so congratulations to Hyper Pixie Gaming. And yeah, I guess we can take all the credit for her success because the first time she ever streamed, she calls into the show to say she's streaming.
Yeah, her friend Dalton is a friend of ours, and he kind of connected us, and she came into the community roundup and called in to say she was going to start streaming.
And so yeah, even though she hasn't put the most time into Final Fantasy 14, she's been a really cool part of the community, cool part of the Discord. And she's definitely put in so much goddamn work into her stream.
Yep.
It's been really amazing watching her grow, and so happy for her achievement. And Community Roundup is not specific to Final Fantasy 14. So if you have anything you're working on, YouTube videos, we want to hear from you. What you have going on, content creating, whatever you want. So we're more than happy to, we have a little platform. It's not huge, but
stand on our milk crate with us.
We like to promote other content creators whenever we can.
Because it's scary.
And Hyper Pixie Gaming has been killing it. So congratulations to her. And I also want to reiterate again, once again, Stellazio Virtual Theater are going to be putting on The Phantom of the Opera. And that's going to be happening the 23rd to the 25th in October. And so if you want to attend any of their shows, you're going to need to have an alt on the Crystal Data Center. They're doing it on Diabolo's server in the Goblet.
In the gobbledygook.
Ward 9, Plot 5. So that's where you're going to need to go. We'll have links to everything in the show notes for their Twitter, for their Twitch, so you can watch it if you can't attend in person. And hopefully we'll be able to stream this as well. So be sure to check them out. It's always a fun time. And not a lot of listener reaction this week because I was bad at tweeting. All the listener reaction was to my hilarious joke of calling it the clip.
Okay. So on that wonderful note.
So yay me.
Yes.
And yay Chili for making a really good joke out of it.
So that's going to be it for this episode. As always, we've enjoyed hanging out with all of you live here on Twitch. So thank you so much for spending your time with us. Be sure to hit that follow button so you'll know the next time we will be going live. And as always, a great big thank you to everyone listening to the podcast through iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, or watching us on YouTube. You really are the reason we keep making episodes. And remember, wherever you do listen, it would mean a whole shit ton to us if you gave our little She Heals I Tank podcast
And that's a lot.
A rating or a review. Or, more importantly, tell a friend to check us out. Here with Vegan Pete, I am Avi Ale, and I still have a voice, so we'll talk to you next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.